want to be very clear about the fact that I believe that ICE raids are cruel. They are inhumane. They do nothing to serve in the interests of public safety.
America, $70 billion just passed the House, 214 to 212, locked in ICE and Border Patrol to the end of Trump's term. Not a single Democrat voted yes, not one. We already know this. Every outlet covered the vote count. Nobody connected what New York's own governor handed Tom Homan by eliminating the one program that kept ICE operations off New York streets. When you kill the quiet version of enforcement, you don't get less of enforcement, especially if you're New York. You get 7-man teams in neighborhoods, and you get Kathy Hochul who flipped that switch on. Hochul met with Tom Homan personally months before the vote. She sat across from him and walked through exactly how to fix New York's criminal alien problem without sending a single team into a neighborhood. She heard every word that Homan said, then she signed a new law ending it. What Homan said about the meeting afterwards on camera publicly, no New York outlet ran it.
You can expect more ICE agents to go to New York because Governor Hochul signed legislation that ended our 287G agreements, where one agent can arrest one bad guy turned over by a jail. Now we got to send a whole team to look for that guy. So she took the efficiencies of the jails away in the 287G agreement. So it's math. One agent can arrest one bad guy in the safety and security of the jail, which is safer for the alien, safer for the agent, and safer for the community. But she decided to kill all that. So now we got to send more agents to do the job that would have took one person.
What is up, guys? TYSON DELACRUZ here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. June 9th, 2026. House vote, $70 billion, $38 billion for ICE. That would be a lot of money. $26 billion for Border Patrol, $5 billion held in reserves, heading to Trump's desk 3 full years. That is not a standard spending bill. It is a pass-through budget reconciliation, a Senate process that only needs 51 votes instead of the normal 60. That specific path is why Chucky Chuck can't filibuster it. The 76-day DHS shutdown, can you believe it? 76 days, the longest in agency history, one that started over the Minneapolis enforcement actions, happened because Democrats found the budget pressure point and absolutely pushed it. This bill removes that particular pressure point that the Dems were pushing on, not for 1 year, not for 2 years, for the rest of the Trump administration. Listen to how Johnson described exactly what the Democrats lost.
But what we've done now by funding it for 3 years is we've taken away their ability to cut that funding, to block that funding, or to take hostage the funding for the remainder of the Trump administration. And again, it's rather sad and shocking to us that it came to this, but that's the time we're in. A partisan vote to fund the enforcement of federal immigration law. Just think of it. But this is good news for everybody except Washington Democrats, okay? They gained absolutely nothing from their reckless crusade to return our country to open borders and unfettered mass migration.
Nothing. That is the full return on the unified Democratic no vote. The shutdown card is gone. The filibuster is bypassed. And the continuing resolution hostage play that they were running is off the table until 2029. The women standing at that podium with Johnson were not lobbyists. They were not donors. They brought death certificates.
My brother Joe and I were on vacation when an illegal alien from Honduras who was drunk ran a red light, killed my brother instantly, critically injured me, and destroyed our family. The illegal alien who killed Joe was allowed to flee. They caught him, put him in jail. A judge reduced his bond, and he fled again for a second time. And the DA's office treated my family like criminals, and they let the man who killed my brother walk free, and he's still out there walking free.
The man who killed Joe Story is still in the country. He fled twice. A judge reduced his bond. The DA declined to prosecute. ICE never got him because the local system never handed him over. The bill that just passed gives the agency hunting him 3 years of protected funding to finish what the local system refused to start. On the other side of that building, you guys, a full Democratic caucus was preparing to call that agency a violent machine. And here's the part that no New York broadcast ran together this week. Zoran Mamdani pushed to abolish ICE didn't produce less ICE in New York. Hochul's legislation produced more ICE. We want more ICE and more visibility. The reason is one specific argument that she killed and what that eliminated forced Homan to replace it with. We talked about it a lot here. It's something called the 287G agreement. In plainest terms here, it is a deal between the local jails and ICE. One agent walks into the facility after an arrest, screens the foreign national, and transfers them if they're here illegally. The whole process happens quietly inside a building in a controlled environment. It's quiet, one agent, one bad guy off the streets. The neighborhood never sees the team. No rocks are being thrown at vehicles, none of that. No one ever knows it ever happens. When Hochul ended those agreements, the arrested person gets released back into the streets. We see that in a lot of sanctuary cities. ICE then has to go find them outside on the street in neighborhoods in teams of 6 or 7 or however big the teams are going to be.
Well, we're on the street to find a bad guy, and we find him many times he's with others. Others that may not be a public safety threat, but they're in the country illegally. Well, guess what? They're coming too, so collateral arrest will increase. This is a result of sanctuary cities not working with us.
The city's own audit confirmed that this week, a 71% increase in ICE detentions across New York's 5 boroughs. More than 5,500 people detained since January 2025. That number is Hochul's signature, made operational here. She ended that mechanism that kept enforcement inside the walls, and the result is a statistic that she can now point at and call inhumane.
Mayor Mamdani directing city agencies to do more to protect immigrant populations, particularly after they say numerous detentions have occurred in this very neighborhood. This comes as the city today released an audit that shows a 71% increase in immigration enforcement action during the second Trump administration.
Mamdani's response to the number his governor's policies built is to direct the NYPD to notify legal executives the moment that anybody dials 911 about immigration authorities, not a single question about a criminal alien booked in Rikers Island, perceived by the city itself as a public safety threat, who got released on the street because the 287G agreement handoff no longer exists. The city built the inefficiency here. The city is now running interference for the consequences of all of it. Now, of course, a video wouldn't be a video without Dollar Store Obama, Hakeem Dollar Store Jeffries, and what he said on the House floor the same hour the mothers were standing 2 hallways away, and nobody put these two things together in the same frame. This is the exact same building, you guys, just a different hallway. While Johnson stood with families holding photographs of their dead loved ones, Jeffries, Timu Obama, was on a microphone delivering what he called the Democratic position on American safety.
I rise today in strong opposition to this Republican scheme to waste $70 billion in taxpayer money to give a blank check to ICE without any guardrails, any oversight, or any accountability. Democrats here are not simply a no, we're a hell no on this legislation.
Jeffries named 2 people in his broader floor speech that day, individuals his office selected to argue ICE caused harm to. He named 0 people from Johnson's podium, not Joe Story's sister, not the mothers who drove to Washington to stand on cameras because their children are buried and killed by illegal aliens. The families at Johnson's podium had court records, police reports, and a coroner document. The families at Hakeem Jeffries' Dollar Store Obama speech were the names of a communication teams on WhatsApp. The quote-unquote defund ICE playbook is running exactly as designed. Demand federal law enforcement protect your city, cut the federal cooperation mechanism that makes that protection quiet and efficient the way that it should be, call the resulting visible operations cruel and inhumane, then vote against the funding that pays the thing that you claim that should be done with more humanity. It makes a lot of sense, you guys. It's absolutely hilarious. Hochul ended the 287G. Mamdani called for abolishment. Dollar Store Obama delivered a hell no speech. And Homan, he's sending more agents into New York City.
We took over 5,000 criminal aliens off the street to New York. You're welcome, Mayor Madani. And look, let's not forget, ICE agents have found 146,000 children that were smuggled in this country under the Biden administration they weren't even looking for. Many of these children victims of sex trafficking and forced labor. Let's not forget the amount of fentanyl ICE agents take off the street every single day. The number of cyber crimes they solve that put people in prison who take advantage of young children, film them, and send it to the rest of their sick enclave. ICE officers save lives every day. Where was he the last 4 years where 250,000 Americans died from the open border? Where was Governor Hochul? Where were they when we had a record number of aliens dying making that journey? In 4 years, over 4,000 aliens died making that journey. A record number of women and children sexually assaulted making that journey. Where were they then? No, the most humane thing you can do is what President Trump has done. Secure the border, saves lives.
Ilhan family reunion. Married my brother Omar has been calling to abolish ICE since 2018. She obviously, you guys voted no this week. The bill passed anyway. The 3-year authorization is heading to Trump desk. That means that the remainder of the administration, no Hochul legislation, no Zohran Mamdani directive, no Jeffries floor speech, and no Omar no vote can cut the funding line that pays for the team still hunting for the man who killed Joe Story. America, here's what nobody put on the post-vote scoreboard. The Democratic immigration strategy for 6 years ran through budget fights. Fund the agency temporarily, force a reauthorization every few months, use the fight to extract concessions. ICE gets restrained not through legislation, but through financial pressure points. The threat of the shutdown that stops the paychecks, the 76-day shutdown, the DHS shutdown, was proof of that concept. It worked. It bought 76 days. Budget reconciliation removed that strategy from the table entirely. Not for a year, for the remaining window of this administration. Every hell no on that floor speech, every Hochul signing ceremony, every Mamdani press conference lands the same way now. On an agency with a locked operational budget that they can't legally reach. Democrats tried to use the budget fights to block federal enforcement and found out this week that reconciliation bypasses the filibuster that they were counting on stopping it. They voted to defund it. Trump funded it for 3 years. The receipt is 214 to 212. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comments section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.